Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. So I'm going to be taking a look at the Battle for Azeroth features trailer today and giving my opinion on what I see. I hope you enjoy listening, and remember, you don't have to agree with me. This is just my opinion, so let's keep it civil. So where do we begin? Darnassus on fire. Super unexpected. My very first character was a night elf, so I'm kind of bummed to see it go. Although, I'm wondering if the city will be gone, or is it just going to be burned? Seems like Teldrassil, the entire tree, is being burned. So if we lose that, is the Horde losing Undercity? Or will we keep these cities? In the Horde's case, will it be a Horde city just, surrounded by the Alliance, perhaps? So that seems to be the start of the expansion. As far as new content, we have the new continent of cool terrace for the Alliance. Honestly, I'm not that excited. I thought I would be more. Tiragard Sound, the capital. I'm not a fan of the architecture. It looks so drab and worn, which is appropriate, I assume, for a port town like that. I just had it in my head it would be more Stormwind-esque, I suppose. I'm also not a big fan of pirate themes so far in WoW. I'm hoping this changes my mind. It seems very pirate heavy. So we'll see. Zandalar for the Horde, however. This has me very interested. When they showed Nazmir in the breakdown, the Blood Trolls gave me a very Diablo 3-like vibe. I'm guessing it's just the color palette. It seemed very similar to Act 1 of Diablo. And maybe some of the mob types had... Or maybe it was a color. I don't really know. It seems interesting, though. Especially that blood moon in the skybox. So I'm hoping it's got a good story. They did say Zuldazar is home to the troll Loa. Like they're gods, I guess. So I'm excited to know more about that. And we get to know more about Vol'jin, which is super exciting. And they also had that Vol'dun zone. I guess I'm saying that right. It's nice to have a desert zone after all this time. So that'll be fun to play through. And that includes the Volpera and Sethrak races, which look fantastic. The Volpera especially, they seem very cute. But speaking of the continents, there are only 3 zones each, which seems very limiting. As it stands now, we started with 5 zones. 4 to level in, and then Suramar for 110. And I love Suramar, by the way. So having 3 to level in seems, even though it's only 1 zone less, it seems very limiting. So, and they claim this is a war story, at least initially. So having each faction separated onto a different continent seems like a mistake, in my opinion. How are you going to tell a war story when both factions are separated across the world? I know both continents open up at 120 for each faction, but will that include storylines on the new, what will be the new continent to you at 120? Or is it just world quests and exploration and access to dungeons, etc.? I'm hoping the story continues, of course. Speaking of the island system, I'm hoping it's fun. It seems to be something that I would actually care to do and repeat. It, changing each time you do it is very exciting to me. Even if it's a minor change, it mixes it up a bit. It being 3 players is strange to me. Kind of has a scenario vibe. But I'm hoping it works out. A little bit more intimate, maybe is the wrong word, but we'll see. And the class doesn't matter, class agnostic. I hope that works. It's got potential to, I believe. And just something fun to, mix it up every now and then. And they're working on advanced AI, they say, for this system in particular. If that's everything they say it is, I think it could be really special. We just have to wait and see if it actually pans out that way. Fingers crossed. And Warfronts. This has me super excited. I love Warcraft 3. I started playing it like a year after it came out. That's what got me into Warcraft in the first place. I don't think I had even heard of it before then. It got me sucked into WoW the moment it came out. So if they can capture that feel of a Warcraft 3 campaign, then they've got me sold right away. It being kind of a raid against PvE factions is a little strange. It would be cool if it was PvP. I can imagine a lot of bickering over the base building aspect. I just hope it's a lot of fun, especially if people cooperate. Now, the one thing that I'm tentative on, the Heart of Azeroth. The idea seems to be interesting. I'm hoping it's not as grindy as Artifact Power felt early on in Legion, and certainly not as boring as it is this stage of the game. We'll see. It being multiple tiers for each item and having choices per tier has potential. And it being made by hand and not random, I think will work out. We'll just have to wait and see. Now the exciting part. Allied races. Let's start with the Horde. Zandalar Trolls. I absolutely love it. I love their look. I've wanted upright orcs and trolls as far as back as I can remember. And I think we'll be getting those from what I understand. So that's exciting. But these Zandalar Trolls look fantastic. They have a very powerful feeling to them. Very commanding presence, perhaps. Next, we have the High Mountain Tauren. They're cool enough. It just seems like they could have given Tauren a different horn and hairstyle, perhaps. Maybe some tattoo options. And replace them with something else. So it's a little meh, in my opinion. But it's got potential. I'll probably play one. Who am I kidding? The Nightborn, though. This is the best. Ever since I was in Suramar and could disguise myself in the city as a Nightborn, I've wanted to play as one. I'll be honest, though. I wanted to play one on the Alliance side. I'll be curious to know why they sided with the Horde. I'm assuming that'll be in their storyline. And I hope it's a good explanation other than the Alliance are a bunch of jerks. But I'm sure they'll do a good job. Speaking of the Alliance, we've got Dark Iron Dwarves. They're a little like the High Mountain Tauren to me. You know, you could have just given dwarves a skin tone change, maybe a new hair and beard style, and then replaced it with a different allied race. They're cool, though. Let's see, and then we have the Lightforged Draenei. Kind of the same thing. They're Draenei. Different skin tone, different horns and hair. They look great. I've enjoyed seeing them on Argus so far. So it'll be cool to see them running around. I just don't have that much to say about them. The Void Elves, however, look absolutely amazing. They seem to be elves trained in the power of the Void by Illyria. Kind of strange, seeing as the Void, from what we've been told, is kind of the biggest of bads in the world, in the Warcraft universe. Even bigger bads than the Burning Legion. So to have that power be good and exclusive to one side, you know, the Alliance specifically, seems a little strange from a story standpoint. I'm hoping that will be a very involved and fulfilling story, so we can figure that out more. So as a whole, this expansion seems a little light on content. You know, we've got the races. I'm not really including that in playable content, though. So, you know, you got warfronts, islands, you know, new dungeons and raids. That just seems a little light. But I guess Legion maybe felt that way from the start when they announced it as well. I'm hoping the story for this expansion is as good, hopefully better, than Legion. I have really enjoyed Legion so far. It might be my favorite expansion in a story sense. Yeah, there have been a few missteps, like 7.2 Broken Shore. That was a bit of a letdown. But seeing it where we are now, how it's all come together, I really love it. So here's hoping that Battle for Azeroth will be even better. I'm confident it will be, at very least, a good story. I do have a feeling that there's a lot that's going to happen that they haven't told us. I've heard a few people like Bellular say that they're anticipating it, starting out as a faction war and transitioning into a big bad, kind of a reverse Mist of Pandaria situation. I'm thinking that's true. They did mention that Queen Ashara would be a boss in the second raid. That speaks volumes. I'm thinking Old Gods, perhaps. Or maybe I'm just hoping it's Old Gods. I'm hoping there'll be some good twists and turns, though, to keep us engaged in the whole life of this expansion. It seems like there's a lot they're not telling us. So that's my take on everything so far. I'm sure I've missed some things or left out some things. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment if there's anything I missed, or just share your opinion on what you think of the new expansion. I'd love to hear it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you.